days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the fan-controlled mock draft. You are in control, and you have been in control all night, voting on potentially trading Jimmy Garoppolo, trading Deebo Samuel.
What to do with pick 61?
Yeah, that is going to completely fundamentally change the way this draft goes. You were in control once before, and you did a fantastic job. Are you going to be able to duplicate that performance?
That's the question, right? Can you duplicate said performance? And pressure is on, TCC. The pressure is on. And look, we did. We put up four polls before this live stream today for you to vote. Right now, as of this point in time, you have voted 61% of you. Well, technically, hold on. If I include both options, Ant, then 94% of you voted to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, but there was a split. 61% voted to trade Jimmy Garoppolo to Carolina for defensive end Brian Burns, pick 137, and a 2023 third. So that is going to be the first thing that happens tonight before anything else gets going with this. Jimmy Garoppolo will be dealt to the Carolina Panthers and for Brian Burns for 2 picks, pick 137 and a 2023 third. And then the TCC had another option for voting. To trade Deebo Samuel, 51% picked the New York Jets. So Deebo to the Jets for pick 10, pick 38, and a 2023 third. And 6% was Deebo to Washington for McLaurin and pick 47. 11% Deebo and a 2023 third round pick to Pittsburgh for Claypool, pick 20 and pick 138. 31% said never trade Deebo Samuel, but 51% have spoken. So Deebo will be going to the New York Jets.
Okay, so I guess we're trading Jimmy Garoppolo and we're trading Deebo Samuel. Lots of draft capital for the TCC to be able to use. We're not in control. True. We don't get to decide what happens here. We know that there's
making me get angry, and it's what take off the shirt. Sorry,
put the shirt back on.
It's fine. I'm gonna leave the orange on.
Yeah,
leave the orange on.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
See what you've done, TCC. This is what happens. This is what happens to Alex when he's no longer in control.
Becoming an Oompa Loompa. Look at this. Before everyone's very eyes.
There you go.
The last early trade scenario, Ant, is void. It's bunk because of what happened with the Deebo Samuel trade. The question was, would you like to trade up from 61 TCC? 28% said yes, no matter what. 28% said no way. And 44% said yes, only if we trade Deebo. Because Deebo has been traded, that means for them it's a no, which means their 44% would revert to a no after the trade has gone through, meaning over 60% don't want to trade up from 61. So 61 we will stay pat at.
Okay.
The next question then was, what position do you want to target tonight, TCC, at pick 61? 47% said O-line. So right now, O-line will be the first thing that we take a look at when we get to 61. However, Ant, with some new capital and some new players on the board, we're gonna have some interesting conversations to have here tonight.
There you go.
There it is. There it is, Ant. There it is. So let's get over to the alternative scene here, so that way everyone can see said trade going down, Ant, and they can feel better, or at least get an idea of what's going on. So first thing first on the docket, obviously, is trading Jimmy Garoppolo to the Carolina Panthers, since that's what the TCC wanted. So Jimmy G is on the table. They wanted Brian Burns in return, edge rusher there from the Carolina Panthers. So there's Mr. Brian Burns. And if I'm not mistaken, Ant, it was pick 137 and a 2023 third. So the 2023 third round pick and pick 137. There it is. We are going to offer said trade, and said trade is going to get accepted. So TCC, congratulations. You just now acquired pick 137 and Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers.
And you also acquired a $16 million fifth-year option that was just picked up. So now they do have an edge rusher to rush opposite of Nick Bosa next year.
True.
You're obviously going to be moving on from Samson Ebukam because you cannot afford him next year. So it will be Brian Burns, according to the TCC, that is going to be rushing opposite of Nick Bosa, at least for 1 year. We're going to have two defensive ends on fifth-year options. Should be interesting. Both guys going to cost it pretty close to $32 million between the two of them. That's a pretty good edge rusher though.
That's a
both, yeah.
Pretty solid edge rusher there. And next up, they want Debo, pick 38, and a 2023 third round pick for Debo Samuel and that is what we are going to be doing. We are going to be pushing that through. I just got to figure out. I'm apparently going to have to just make this a force situation potentially, and make this a force situation.
Yeah, do whatever you got to do.
Do whatever I got to do to get this through. So we will see here. We will see what we do here. There we go. And the trade has been made. So Debo Samuel and to San Francisco, pick 10, pick 38, and a 2023 third round pick from the Jets, which means the Niners will be on the clock at pick 10. And the Niners will be on the clock at pick 10. So we will see what the TCC wants to do. So I think the only thing that's left at this point is to let this thing roll through, to find out what options are going to be available for the TCC. And goodness gracious almighty, Ant, we are off, we are running, and interesting start.
Yeah, it's a very interesting start. Number one, I'm going to do some commentary on what. Number one, I don't agree with the draft trade for Debo Samuel. I would not make this trade. We know how I felt about this. I don't feel like we're getting enough back if we're just getting draft capital. We're not really getting any players. So I don't think that's there. I do think a Carolina trade for Jimmy Garoppolo is a possibility. What that compensation will look like, though, I'm not sure if Brian Burns would be that guy. There are players that Carolina has that would make sense for the 49ers. But when it comes down to it, the 49ers aren't going to want to eat some of that salary cap space, $16 million with Brian Burns. Then they would only have the $12 million left over or $11 million left over to use from Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. So I think that is an interesting move, but we're not in control. The TCC chose. They're in control tonight. If you want to see us in control, come to War Room tomorrow. Sure. I can guarantee you this. Debo Samuel will not get traded tomorrow.
Fair.
Over my dead cold hands will this happen.
Hand, not even body, hands.
Hands, not body.
They gotta get through the hands first?
Yeah, the hands.
And there's no chance?
It's only cold dead hands. It's like frostbite, Alex. I'm not dying. Come on now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
thank goodness for that. Megan is saying the TCC did not choose. Unfortunately, there were 110 votes. 110 votes stayed otherwise. So
yeah.
TCC should have voted never. 110 of you there. So we're going to see what happens. This is what it is now. And look, Jess, absolutely no doubt.
I'm sorry. There's such displeasure in the chat. But
we've got a 5-year plan. This is absolutely incredible. Jaylee wants to know who did this. Unfortunately, the TCC did it. If there were here's the thing. Here's how I know this would have been skewed, Ant. All the votes were within 10 votes of each other. If the Debo vote had 3K votes on it, right? 3,000 votes and everything else had a couple hundred, you're sitting there going, I wonder if there's some outside influence in terms of whether or not Debo's saying it. That's not what happened. We had about 20 votes between, actually not even 20, it was 10 votes between that one and a couple of the other options to vote on.
Yeah. And like David Hasselhoff is saying, it could have been trolls voting. That's potential. So I guess we're going with this. So I guess we're actually going to let this happen.
We are 100% going to let this happen. That's what the vote dictated, Ant. That's what the vote dictated. Look, TCC, the question is what do you do with pick 10 now? What are you doing with pick number 10? Are you dealing? Are you dealing back? Are you staying pat? Do you like the names here? Start putting some names in chat. I know they had mentioned interior offensive line and at pick 61, but these are the options that you have available now. Lots of high-talented, high-caliber names. Or does the TCC, the pick we don't want? I refuse, says Bobber T. What do you guys want to do? Let's put this to a vote first and foremost, and in the chat. Do you want to make pick 10? What to do with pick 10 TCC?
I like that Bomber T said I refuse and then said Jameson Williams. Interesting. Trade down then, JL saying, so I know that's going to be one of the possibilities here.
Make the pick or trade back. We'll just figure that out first. Does the TCC want to make the pick or do they want to trade back? That's going to be the question, Ant. If you do want to trade back, start spamming that right now in the chat. What Where do you want to go? You want to go pick 16? You want to go pick 20?
Well, we got to see what's available. There's 2 trades available.
It's true. This is true. So let's take a look at what those trades are so the TCC has a better idea of what options. So you have pick 15 with Philadelphia.
Could we get 15? I don't know if we can get 15 and 18 out of them, but
it will not be accepted.
What if you gave them like 38? Yeah, so you could do that. Maybe add another pick. Get like 51. No, yeah, do 38 and get like. Can you do that? No. You could probably maybe you could get 101 out of it. Potentially.
Yeah, 60% chance to get 101. So you could do that.
Or just try to give them 61. See if they'll.
They won't do that. They won't do 61.
What if you gave them a later pick, like 61 and like 187? No. I'm not willing to do that. So, I mean, if we want to get 2 first-rounders out of it, I mean...
You can do it. You just have to give up your early second. You just have to give up your early second to get 2 first. And then the other one is, oh my God, it's Cleveland at 44. So, in other words,
it's
not great.
Yeah, so I mean, if the TCC wants 2 first-round picks, potentially we could go 10 and 38 for 16 and 19.
True. It's very true. That's the likely situation. You can go 15, 18, 15 and 18 for 10 and 38. And you actually, we looked at it too. You could probably throw 101 in there as well. So you might be able to get pick 101 as well.
Well, it's the Eagles, right?
It is the Eagles.
We see that David Hasselhoff saying we want a proven commodity. Could we throw a player in there?
Possibly that.
Could we get a first-round pick and a player potentially in a trade? I mean, David Hasselhoff's asking for it. What players are available?
They have. So here's what they have. With the wide receiver position, you have Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who's currently transitioning to tight end.
Yeah, not him.
Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll, Tyreek Jackson, Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Jason Huntley, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Andre Dillard, LaRaven Clark, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Jack Driscoll, Isaac Suomalo, Brett Toth, Jack Anderson, Oswa Opede, and Brandon Brooks. In the secondary, if Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, Kerry Vincent Jr., Tay Gowan, Josiah Scott, Zach McPherson, Marcus Epps, and Kevon Wallace. Defensive interior line, Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Javon Hargrave, Marlon, Tui Peloto.
You don't have to read all the rest.
What about Josh Sweat?
What
about Josh Sweat?
Josh Sweat is a solid player, but I think there's only 2 names there that really get my interest up, and I wonder how the TCC is feeling about that, and that's Devontae Smith, of course, and Landon Dickerson, the center. If we could walk away with one of those guys, Dickerson was the guy that everyone was high on last year. Potentially, plug him, play him with the questions about Alex Mack. You wouldn't have to worry about center later. And this is a guy that does have versatility to play on the interior, the guard and center spot. He's one. Devontae Smith could add some. He's a pretty good wide receiver as well. You could still end up maybe with the first-round pick and one of those guys. So I don't know what the TCC is thinking about.
So you could go pick 15, Devontae Smith, and pick 101 for 10 and 38. For 10 and 38, and it's a 97% chance they're going to take it. So you could add Devontae Smith to your roster. You can move back 5 spots and pick 101. You could also probably do the same thing with Landon Dickerson.
I think the question is, do they want... Yeah, I mean, JLE saying he doesn't think the Eagles would move those guys. That's potential. Yeah, they wouldn't. And this is your guys' decision. So if you want 2 picks, you guys are the ones who decide. So let me know what it is. I'm okay with whatever you guys decide. I'm just throwing things out there as potential. But JLE's probably right. They probably wouldn't be willing to move one of those guys. Maybe they would, though, if, I don't think it would have been for a draft pick, but if we'd have went with a Debo trade to them, then potentially they would move one of those guys.
They might have. But Philly also would be willing on PFF here to do pick 15 and pick 51 and Landon Dickerson. So you could go 15, 51, and Dickerson, TCC, if you wanted to trade back. You could go 15, 18, and 101 for 10 and 38, or you could go 15 and 101 for Devontae Smith for 10 and 38.
Yeah, so, I mean, you just want draft picks? Do you want a player? If you just want draft picks, let us know, and we'll do that.
We'll definitely will do that, Ant. Only 14 votes right now, TC. So if you want that, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. I'm seeing Lou saying 15 and 51. I'm seeing ShatG saying 15, 18, and 101. So he wants the 3 picks. He doesn't want the players. Stack as much talent as we can get in the first 150 picks. I'm seeing 10 and 51. So Lou is looking for the picks and Landon Dickerson. So I mean, I get that there. I'm going to end this poll right now because it looks like trade back is the option at the moment from the TCC. That's looking like what they want to do. So now the question just is, what do you want from Philly, from Philadelphia? That's the question now, TCC. Do you want 10, 15, and 101? Do you want Dickerson? Excuse me, not 10 and 15. 15, 18. My apologies, TCC. 15 and 18 and 101. Do you want Dickerson, pick 15, and pick 51? Or do you want Smith, Devontae Smith, pick 15 and pick 101, TCC? That's those are your options. That's what's on the table. Make sure you vote right now. Bomber T is saying, no kidding. Freaking Jameson is right. He was right there. He still could be there at 15.
He could. Yeah, he definitely could.
He still could. Although, if you're getting Devontae Smith into the 49ers, and are you going Jameson Williams?
I don't know. I'm not in control.
That's true.
So this is the TCC. True. They would decide if they're going Jameson Williams or how they're going to do it. We know how I feel about proven commodities. That's why I brought up proven commodities. But if they value draft picks, the TCC values draft picks, and this is definitely lottery season where everyone thinks that I've got a golden ticket, I've got a 15 in my pocket. Yeah, I think that sometimes that's how it goes. So we know that I value that, but I don't know if we have the players. I don't know if the players at the Eagles are good enough. Like potentially Lou said, you could take the center from Iowa there, Linderbaum, at 15 if you decide to go that route. We'll see.
TCC, you better start voting. I'm seeing a lot of people commenting in the chat. Smith 15 and 51. Well, first, you can't get Smith 15 and 51. You can get it done for 15 and 101. They won't do 51. They value him much more than Landon Dickerson. So if you want that, that's what you're going to have to go, because right now, with 13 votes in and 1 minute off the clock already, and you got 2 minutes in total to vote. TCC, you got 1 minute left, 13 votes in. 62% of the TCC right now is going 15, 18, and 101, Ant. 15, 18, and 101. They want the picks.
They want the picks, yeah.
They don't want the players. So if you want players, you better get it going. TCC, you got about 30 seconds. 30 seconds left to vote. 33 current viewers and 19 likes, 15 votes. You guys are lacking on the likes. You're lacking on the votes, TCC. Pick it up right now. We want to hear from you. Let's go.
Well, I mean, how much can you like about trading Deebo Samuel?
I don't know if I can like that either, though. I don't know. But hey, listen, it's not our mock draft.
Let's see how it turns out, right?
It's true.
Let's see how it turns out.
See how it turns out. You could end up with Devontae Smith if people start voting for you.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's going to go 15, 18, and 101. That's how it appears. And that's okay. I mean, and then I'm curious what the TCC does with 15, 18, and 101. Are they going to make those two selections, or are they going to look to trade back again? But they could walk away with two very good football players.
True.
And they better, because they just traded away Deebo Samuel.
Traded away Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
TCC, you better do it. Megan is saying, just hit the reset button at this point. I see Candy R. This is a solid question. Is this cutback a league, Devontae Smith, with Drew controlling him on the sticks? If so, go get Smith.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he was a bad player, right? This is one of those guys that won the Heisman Trophy. He's very talented, very fast, very shifty. He could get open in Kyle Shanahan's system. That's no joke. So, but 15, 18, and 101 seem to be pulling away.
It does seem like it's...
And thanks, San Francisco, for smashing the like button. Appreciate that, John.
We appreciate that, John. Big time. Poll is closed, and 15, 18, and 101 it is. That is the selection. That is what the TCC is wanting. That's what we're going to be doing here. 15, 18, 101. No Landon Dickerson. Sorry there, good sir. Has a 60% chance, so we're going to offer it up the first time. If they do it, great. If they don't, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. So giving up pick 10, giving up pick 38. We're moving into the first round twice now, Ant. Who agrees with me to reset? I promise the TCC demands a reset, says Megan. We're not doing it. It's over. It's done with. They didn't do it, Ant. Do I sweeten it a little bit? Do we sweeten it, Ant?
No. I mean, just make it happen.
We'll just force it. We'll just make it happen. There we go. Okay. So that's what's happening there. Devin Lloyd off the board there. A couple other guys.
Yeah. So two big-time wide receiver prospects just went, by the way. Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams.
And Drake
London, the run-on wide receiver. So by trading back, you don't get the wide receivers.
No.
Potentially that you wanted there. So do you want to sit at 15? I don't know what prospects are there at 15.
So 15 prospects are here, TCC. So you have George Karlaftis out of Purdue. You have Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa. You have Devontae Wyatt. You have Bernard Raymond. You have Nakobe Dean. Jordan Davis. You still have Chris Olave from Ohio State sitting right there. You have Sky Moore as well. Andrew Booth out of Clemson. Zion Johnson. Tyler Smith. Lewis Sign. A lot of good names here. A lot of solid names here at these spots, Ant.
Yeah, so here's one of those things you're going to be picking at 15 and 18. Do you want to trade back again? I seen in the chat there, Rini was saying trade back again.
No trade offers, so no ability to trade back.
So no trade back. So you will need to make a selection here. There's no trade back. So are you going to go with a center like Tyler Linderbaum? Are you looking edge rush? There are potentially other edge rushers available as well, right? David Ajabo could be available. Arnold Ebiketie could be available. So there's going to be guys. Bomber T says, is Jordan Davis available? He's looking interior defensive line.
Let me pull it up and see. We can look to see if Jordan Davis, he is. Jordan Davis is available. So he's sitting right there towards the top. So Jordan Davis is still available, sitting there at 20. You could go that route now. I guess the question is what position does the TCC want to be targeting? So I'm seeing center out of Jay Ellie. So Jay Ellie's saying center. So he's thinking Lindenbaum. So I'm going to put Lindenbaum in the poll. Who is the pick at 15 TCC? Do we have the center? Tyler Linderbaum, excuse me. Who else?
We're seeing Ajabo
as well. So let's put David Ajabo in as well, Ant. David Ajabo. I would be happy with Ajabo. Get him Kinlaw. Leg is done. Somebody else
was saying a safety as well. I missed who they were saying, but the safety.
They were saying a safety prospect?
I thought. Maybe I missed it, though.
Well, I'm just trying to think
of other guys at this spot. It might be a little early for Ebiketie, so.
It's true. Are they thinking Lewis Sign or Jaquan Brisker?
Jaquan Brisker are both possibilities.
Seeing Jordan Davis getting brought up a lot.
Then maybe throw Jordan Davis in there. That's fine.
I saw someone wanted to know about wide receivers. These are your wide receiver options.
Yeah, so Chris Olave, potentially.
True. Let's put Jordan Davis in the poll there, Ant, just because some people brought him up, and also it'd be a very 49ers thing to do. Interior D-line, Jordan Davis. And wait on safety. Too early for center. I still see Tyler Lindenbaum, the check wide receiver. Let's see.
Yeah, which wide receiver? Oh, Jay Ellie saying Pickens. Would you go Pickens at 15?
No way. No.
John.
Way.
Oh, so San Francisco saying Brisker.
Okay, let's go. Let's put safety Jaquan Brisker in there as well. And Jaquan Brisker, safety. So 4 choices on the table. TCC for pick 15, Tyler Lindenbaum, D-end David Ajabo, interior defensive lineman Jordan Davis, and safety Jaquan Brisker. Those are your options. Those are the names that we saw popping up in the chat. If you wanted one of your guys, you gotta type faster. You gotta type faster on that keyboard.
Well,
TCC.
and you know the thing is, you guys got to remember, is at 18, you're going to have more possibilities. The Niners are going to pick 3 picks from now. So if you were thinking like I seen Treylon Burks coming through, if you want Treylon Burks, you could get him at 18. He's going to be there. So potentially there's going to be other options at 18, but these are going to be the selections. This is what you guys put in chat. So this is going to be interesting how this thing plays out. And right now, early, David Ajabo is winning with 40% of the vote. So that is what's going on right now.
That's what's currently happening. We got 2 minutes on the clock for you, TCC. Let's get this thing going here. In fact, and I'm gonna try and put up the timer so the TCC knows exactly how much time.
There you go. P. Murr coming through with, hey, we have Burns. We don't need a defensive end. We don't need a Ajabo.
It's true. You guys did trade for Burns, so do not forget that. David Burns is on the roster. You don't need a Ajabo.
And right now, Linderbaum has just pulled even with a Ajabo at 38%.
There you go.
So vote, TCC. Let your voice be heard. Jordan Davis at 15%, still in the hunt. Nobody going safety. Jaquan Brisker is not going to have that. He's only at 8% right now. So it's going to come down to those top 3 names with Linderbaum and Ajabo. So can P. Murr shift the TCC in that direction? Not so sure. We'll see. Ajabo is still an elite talent, though. Yeah, you have Brian Burns on a 5th-year option. Ajabo is going to be sitting out the year, so potentially you could get him right and sit him 1 year.
True.
And then he could take over for Brian Burns after that. Well, actually, it'd be 2 years, right?
Accurate.
You're going to have him for next year, so it could be a developmental thing.
Very true. Very true. TCC, we're getting to be almost to the 1 minute mark left on the poll. 31 of you here,
yes,
32 here.
Yes, Frank. The trade for Jimmy Garoppolo included Brian Burns, so Brian Burns is on this mythical 49ers roster. The TCC traded, and Brian Burns and his $16 million 5th-year option. Now he's playing on a rookie pay scale this year. Cheap option for the Niners.
True.
Playing opposite Nick Bosa. But next year, he's going to be $16 million. You could also extend him when you extend Nick Bosa, hypothetically. But, yeah, that's where we're at.
Very true. I'm seeing Ronnie saying trade, but no trade.
So
no trade
Tyler Linderbaum has just jumped to 50% of the vote. So Linderbaum, the center from Iowa, is definitely on the upward trend. The realization from P. Murr that we don't need a Ajabo because Brian Burns is already on the roster is kind of tipping the scales in Linderbaum's favor.
It's looking that way, Ant, and with 30 seconds left, if you want to make the pitch for Jordan Davis, TCC, do it. You got to do it. Jaylee saying, what, Jimmy for Burns, question mark? It was Burns. Hold on, it was Burns, pick 38, and then pick 137, so you did get, oh, excuse me. Was it pick 30? It was pick 38. Pick 38.
There was a lot there. It was basically a second and a. Oh no, it wasn't. It was not a second. It was a 4th. I'm sorry. It wasn't pick 38. It was the pick 38 came in the Deebo Samuel trade.
That's correct.
It was pick like 134 or 133, and then a
137. 137 and a 2023 third.
Third. There you go. There it was. So I knew it was a 4th and a 3rd. So.
Whew. Shachi saying, I still wouldn't take center this early, and Ant, the time is up. The poll is closed.
There it is.
And it looks like Tyler Linderbaum with 47% of the vote is going to be the pick for the TCC at this spot here. I don't dislike this pick, Ant. I don't dislike it. Maybe I don't like how we got here, but this isn't a bad bounce back.
No, it's not. And David Hasselhoff is right. It's a big loss for the Carolina Panthers, giving up what they gave for Jimmy Garoppolo. And then Ronnie Montoya is already pitching Treylon Burks at 18. So, yeah, start pitching the names you guys wish to go at 18, or do you wish to trade back at 18? Is there going to be something available there?
And there are 8 trades.
8 trades available?
8 trades.
Well, what's the best one?
Pick 22 is Green Bay. They want to come up from 22. You have Arizona wanting to come up from 23. Tampa wanting to come up from 27. The Giants want to come up from 36. Indy from 42, 45. I would say that if we're trading back, we're staying in the first round. Correct, Ant?
I would say so, yeah.
I would think that's what the TCC would do. So with Green Bay, you could do 22 and 28. You could do 22 and 92. 22, 92, and you might even be able to sneak 132 out of them as well to trade back, Ant, from that spot for 18.
Potentially. I mean, what if you're willing to offer them, like, pick 61 to get something else? Would they give you... I know they're not going to give you a first-round pick, but you could flip 61 for 53. That's an 8-pick thing there.
You'd be jumping up 8 spots, and you'd be dropping back more.
Yeah, but you could probably get another pick out of them. Yeah, there you go.
You could either get 92 or 132 out of that situation.
Why would you want 132 and if you could get 92?
Correct.
Could you get 59?
No.
Okay, but you can get 92. So
you could get 92. So I think that's probably the best option right there, right? 18 and 61, you get 22, you get 53, and you get 92.
There you go.
And then you got 92 and 93. So
and we got a super chat from 49ers George 365, just $2. I'm saying just $2 because there's no comment. It's just $2.
$2 super chat?
Yeah. The
49ers George.
I wanted to read it, but there was nothing there. But 49ers George, thanks for coming through. And I always love seeing the avatar. Ray Wersching's number 14 jersey.
It is.
Currently sitting in my closet right now.
It is 100% sitting in your closet.
It's 100% Ray Wersching.
That's very, very true. So
I was expecting a comment from 49ers George, though.
I was expecting one, too.
But I appreciate the $2 super chat.
Arizona, Ant. Arizona is willing to trade up from 22 as well. You could get 23, 55, and 87 from Arizona. So 22, 55, and 87 for 18 and 61. So you could do that and move up. That's how you could move around in the board there as well. So with Green Bay, remember it was 22, I think it was 53, and it was 92 is what it was.
Yeah.
So 22, 53, and 92 if they want to trade back. So let me put up a poll right now. TCC, what to do at pick 18.
Jay Elliott is saying start flipping picks. So potentially what he's saying is maybe even add some of our late round picks to get even more of their top pick. So like if you had 59, for instance, involved in this, 59 for them, and then like try to give them like our comp picks, right? Like, no, they're not going for any of that.
No, not really.
Okay, what will they do if you add 132, like throw 132 instead of 53 or 59? Take 59 out of theirs. No, 59, not 92. Take 59 out. Yeah, you got 132. And then they're
if you give them 137.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have to give them 137.
That's true. It's 66% chance.
Yeah, so you can flip that. But what he's saying is start flipping those picks, which makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. It does make sense. Oh, snap. Haha, nice. Did they trade Jimmy? Yes, the TCC did trade Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's been traded, and Deebo Samuel has been traded. And Brian Burns came back in the Carolina trade. So far, the only selection that's been made from the Deebo Samuel pick is Tyler Linderbaum, as there's been a trade back and now potentially another trade back.
Very true. Trade back to 27. This is with Tampa Bay. This is with Arizona. And this is with Green Bay. So TCC, those are your options. Those are your choices. What are we doing with pick 18 at right now? Are we making the pick? Are we trading back to 22? Or do you want to trade back to 23? Or do you want to trade back to 27? Again, JLA was making the case for flipping picks, which you can easily do. You could grab 22, 53, 92, and 132 from a team like Green Bay. And if you were to do a trade back situation and get as many picks in the top 150 as possible, you could do with this team here with Arizona. You can get for 18 and 61, and you can get 23, 55, and pick 87. If you were to trade back with Tampa Bay, I would imagine there is a chance. Oh my God. For 18 and 61, you can get pick 27, pick 60, pick 91, and pick 133.
Just take 61 out and take out their 133 and 91 and see what you could get. See, you could just get pick 60 out of it.
True.
That's pretty good value right there.
It's very true. Very true. Shatji is saying Arizona and Green Bay can eat it. So he's saying absolutely not. I'm seeing one person say no trade, get Jordan Davis. That's Bomber T Ant. He doesn't even want to consider moving back.
Well, yeah, and I mean that is a part of the vote, right? You can vote and make the pick.
Make the pick.
And make the pick is at 42%. Trade back with Green Bay is at 42%. Trade to 27 with Tampa Bay at 17%. Nobody wants to trade with Arizona, so the Arizona's off the market. But it seems like trade with Tampa Bay took a little bit of an uptick when they saw that we could potentially just pick 60, for moving back. So
true.
I think that's a pretty nice value as a second round pick.
It's not bad. And you got 1 minute left TCC. So make your votes. Tied right now, 42% and want to make the pick. Now it's 46. So 46% want to make the pick. 38% want to trade back to 22 with Green Bay. So it is tight. It is a tight race there. And we get another $5 super chat from 49ers George. Tried biting my tongue because it's a little negative. Can't approve trading Deebo. Ray Wershing also is shaking his head. Have a good night, guys. LOL.
Yeah, I'm with you. I couldn't. 49ers George, thanks once again for the super chat. This time $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. And yeah, that was tough. The Deebo Samuel trade in this, the TCC deciding to trade Deebo Samuel was really rough for us as well. But we're not in control. We would not make that trade, and we've made that clear. Some of the things that have happened already maybe aren't our decisions, but that's okay. That's what the 49ers fans have decided to do in this mock draft, and that's why they're in control, and they're going to continue to be in control. We're just here to help try to facilitate what they want to do. That's
all we're trying to do, and to facilitate, and the TCC, the poll is officially closed. It is over, and make the pick is now the option. So we already know who is the selection. TCC at pick 18. You were going to be making the pick. We've already seen interior defensive lineman Jordan Davis's name get brought up, so he is going to go onto this list.
Yeah, who else is available, Alex?
Let's go through actual availability, and let's scroll through this and take a look. So you have Devontae Wyatt as well. You have Jordan Davis. You have Nakobe Dean, Andrew Booth, Zion Johnson. A lot of options here. Lewis Sine is at this spot as well. George Pickens. Kyer Elam, Jalen Petrie, Ebiketie is still available. Although, again, edge rusher, less likely because of the situation there. Jaquan Brisker, still an option and a name as well for the cutback crew. I'll pull up some wide receivers because we've consistently seen wide receiver names coming up on the board, and the TCC is interested in wide receiver names. You still have Treylon Burks, you still have George Pickens, a lot of stuff there. I'm seeing Sky Moore out of Shat-G as well.
Lewis Sign coming from 49ers George 365. Some Sky Moore. I see Johnson now, so there's definitely some names coming in. 49ers George is saying Petrie as well. I do like Petrie as well. I wonder if this is, at 18 though, is really early for some of these guys. It makes me wonder why the TCC didn't choose the trade back option. So who was the guy you were targeting that you had to get at 18? I'm curious.
I'm wondering. I'm wondering as well. Right? I'm wondering who it is. And Lou is saying crazy. I need a drink. Probably 2.
Yeah.
Probably 2.
It's wild.
I'm seeing Shat-G saying Moore or Burks.
Oh yeah, Jermaine Johnson is. Jay Ellie is saying. I see you forgot to mention the Knowles DN.
It's true,
Alex.
I did.
How do you miss him? By the way, he's one of the best edge rushers in the entire draft.
I don't know. How I miss him. I don't know.
Yeah,
because he's from Florida State instead of University of Florida.
Yeah, exactly. He's a tremendous talent, by the way.
Agreed.
He would have been, if the 49ers are picking in the first round, he definitely would be an option. I just don't know because we just got Brian Burns.
True.
So we don't. Do we need another Knowles edge rusher? I don't know.
I don't know either. So I did see Treylon Burks, a name that has popped up consistently. So we'll put Treylon Burks on here as well. Spinic Diesch saying should have traded with Green Bay TCC. Maybe you should have.
Spinic Danger. I was on board with the trade as well. Pick up extra capital. So yeah, but this is the decision that TCC made, and we're gonna roll with it.
I'm seeing Lewis Sign from Paul Sanders. Look, it looks like we got 3 names that continually pop up, and that would be Jordan Davis, would be Lewis Sign, and Treylon Burks. And I'm also going to throw in, should I throw in Jaquan Brisker since we had him in on the last poll as well?
Go ahead, yeah, throw him in.
Let's throw in Jaquan Brisker just because he was in on the last poll as well. So there we go. And Frank is saying F Green Bay.
And JLE says, yeah, we want all of them. We need all the edge rushers from Florida State.
Oh, every single one of them. I feel like, I'm not going to lie, that feels biased.
I mean, are they good?
They are good.
Yeah,
they're
good. Very good and athletic, and Johnson's a really good one.
He's talented,
really good. His skill level is next level.
You ain't wrong.
I would just draft edge rushers all day and just continue. I mean, what's better than a first round edge rusher? You wouldn't have any questions about you know what Samson Ebukam could become? A nice rotational piece.
Very true.
That sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious.
You would, I mean, already did that, right, with Brian Burns, potentially.
True. Robert asked, what did we get for Jimmy? So, Robert, what we got for Jimmy, based on what the TCC had voted for in the poll, you got Brian Burns, you got pick 137 and a 2023, it was either second or third round pick. So that's what you picked. That's what you picked up. Paul Sanders is saying Treylon Burks. How many 7th round picks can we get if we trade this pick? I would imagine 7th round picks for all eternity.
Yeah.
KNDR. If you just traded this way for 7th round picks, it's 7th round picks forever. Right? It's just 7th round picks forever. Burns has D Ford type quickness, so there's that.
Oh yeah, I mean the speed rush off the edge is impressive. But right now, early on in the poll, Treylon Burks is leading with 64% of the vote. With Jordan Davis being the second with 17% of the vote. And in fact, Treylon Burks just went up to 67%. So the 49ers fans and faithful are looking at potentially getting a wide receiver right now. They traded Deebo Samuel. They need to get some wide receiver help. Deciding to go with Treylon Burks right now and potentially not going with a Christian Watson, or are they going to do a Christian Watson later? Something that's going to be interesting later on.
It's definitely going to be something that's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting later on, Ant. Not expecting some of these moves from the TCC tonight, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and Ronnie Montoya is not wrong about Burns needing a new contract. Carolina just exercised its 5th-year option.
True.
$16 million per season is what he's going to be making in 2023. So after the 2023 season, he would be a free agent the same time as Nick Bosa. So you would have to potentially sign both of them. But you're going to get Brian Burns for 2 years. So that's part of the reason that the Jimmy Garoppolo trade makes a little bit more sense and why his value is there. 2 years instead of 1.
Very accurate. And less than 20 seconds, TCC. Less than 20 seconds to make your votes and make your voice heard. 42 of you in the chat. Vote, 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 vote. Get your votes in. Go to the live chat feed right now. It will pop up at the top. And if it doesn't pop up, just refresh the stream. Refresh it. It'll pop right up for you. And that's it. That's time And now the drum roll as we await the final tally. 66% of the vote goes to wide receiver Treylon Burks. So TCC, that is a selection. Treylon Burks is your man. That's who the Niners are walking away with here at pick 18, Ant. All right, we got a wide receiver. You traded away. one Deebo Samuel. And now we await the future of what is next and what's left. Jordan Davis just went off the board.
So 61 is next.
61 is the next pick for the San Francisco 49ers. So I guess the question is now, is that the TCC want to sit pat, or do they want to come up? Although, actually, we can't do that. We can't do that. The TCC has already voted on this, and they want to sit pat at 61.
That was a vote?
That was a vote earlier. Do you want to trade up from 61? The TCC decided at 61. Would you like to trade up from pick 61? Yes, no matter what was 28%. 28% was no way. And 44% was yes, only if we don't trade Deebo. The Niners did trade Deebo Samuel. So therefore it's a no. They don't want to trade up from 61, which means we're sitting pat at 61.
Okay, whatever. I think JLE and some of the chat is saying, hey, we need to trade up.
Okay, well then do we want to put this to a vote? The TCC.
I mean,
and if so, where do you want to trade up to? What are you thinking?
I don't even know. I don't know what they're going to do right now, but
TCC, let us know. That was before the draft, Alex. I was very specific in the poll what your options were. Yes, trade up no matter what. No, don't trade up. Or yes, but only trading up if we don't trade Deebo. So if Deebo's still on the roster, you don't trade up.
I think with all the things that are going on, I think we need to go ahead and allow them to trade up if they want.
Okay, so JLA saying move up to 49 is what he is thinking with the New Orleans Saints. That's what he would like to do. So he would like to come up to 49, Ant, which means you're probably going to, you could probably move up by giving up either 105, probably 105 and 61. You also might be able to give up a third-round pick next season in order to do it.
I think you've given up, I think you have so many picks that you've made so far that you want to give up some of the picks this year. You're not going to be able to, I mean, right, we've already made 2 selections in the first round.
Very true.
Picked up Linderbaum, you picked up Treylon Burks, and you've already acquired Brian Burks in a trade. You're not walking away with, very many more draft picks. So I don't think you want to continually, use future years picks. You want to use picks from this season.
Very true. So with the New Orleans Saints to move up to 49, you could give up pick 61. You could give up pick 105, and that is probably going to get you there. You might be able to also give up, no, you won't be able to give up 134, but you might be able to give up 134 and 137 if you want to hold on to your picks 101 and picks 105.
Yeah, I think that's something to do, but I think we need to put in there trade or trade up or no.
Okay.
Stay put or trade up. Let's just put it to a final vote and see what everyone decides.
What should the 49ers do next, TCC? What do they do next? Stay at 61. Trade up to 49. Or we'll say also trade up into the 50s.
Yeah, JLE's right. We do have 3/3 next year. We could potentially get more depending on what happens with D'Amico Ryans, what happens with Ryan Carthon. The problem is how many players from this draft would make the roster? I don't know how many guys are going to make the roster. We already have 75 plus. It's a 90-man roster. So that means guys you're drafting aren't going to make your football team.
Very accurate there, Ant. Very accurate indeed. And D. Will just said he just got his new cutback shirt in the mail, and it looks great. D. Will, happy to hear it.
Yeah,
what shirt was
D-Will.
it? What shirt was it? That's the question I got.
Yeah, which one was it?
So many options, Ant. So many options, and more options coming soon. 2 minutes on the clock, TCC. Make sure you're making your votes and make your picks right now. Trade up for a specific player that we are targeting. We have holes, but not too many, says Ronnie Montoya. I agree. Yes, move to 49. And Paul also says, I agree, Ant. He's liking what you're putting down in terms of trying to understand how to build the roster out and looking at what's going on. So let's see here.
Yeah, let's see what everyone's thinking. Right now, trade up to 49 is winning with a 59% part of the vote. 18% for staying at 61. What stay at 61 was leading early.
Sure.
Now, a trade into the 50s is at 24%. So this is going to be an interesting thing as it continues to play out over the next minute. But as we're building this roster, the TCC has to decide how many selections they ultimately want to make. I mean, that's the thing. You have to decide how many selections you want to make in this draft. That was one of the things John Lynch talked about when he talked about trading back from 61. He said we don't have that many roster spots. So acquiring picks this season or for this draft is not ultimately what they could do. They could move more next year. Here's the problem. They're potentially going to have 11 draft picks next year.
Yep.
You're not normally going to use 11 draft picks. I mean, it does give you draft capital to finagle yourself around the draft, but I mean, I think the target is you walked away with 2 potential starters right now. Number 1, Linderbaum could come in and start if Alex Mack retires.
True.
And then 2, you got Treylon Burks. And that's not including what you did with the Jimmy Garoppolo move, where not only did you free up salary cap space because Brian Burns is on his rookie pay scale, but you also got Brian Burns, an edge rusher, to add to the room. And now you're probably going to turn around and trade one of those edge rushers because you just have too many.
You have a butt ton. Shachi says the voting has us trading every round. LOL at this point. It does. It does. Looks like we kept Debo's bicycle. We kept Debo's bicycle, but not Debo. I'm gonna be honest. I'd prefer to have kept Debo.
Yeah, I would have kept Debo too. Trade up to 49 seems to be picking up steam at 62%, and it appears that's what's going to happen.
It looks like that's going to be the case, Ant. And with the next selection, the Niners will be moving up to 49 and picking at 49. I think this is the route we want to go, right? Pick 61, pick 134 and 137. That's what we had pitched to the TCC before the vote. That's what they went with. That's what we're going to do.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's offer this thing up. Pick 49. Of course. Of course. So do we want to just throw in a late one of these to bump it up to 74? Or just push it through?
I would say push it through because it's enough value.
Agreed with you there, Ant. Agreed with you there. So let's boot that there through. Bang, bang, boom. And now we can resume this draft. We can resume this wonderful situation here. We can watch some wonderful names go off the board, knowing that we're going to be making the pick at 49. Now the only question is, Ant, what are the Niners going to do? What is the TCC going to want? What are they going to want to address? A Biketti off the board, a Jabu off the board, Pickens off the board. There goes Kyler Gordon. There goes Sky Moore, Boy Mafi, Sam Howell, Quay Walker, Matt Corral. Some quarterbacks going there, and there's going to be a lot of options here. Going to be a lot of
So if you're at 49, you're going to have some playmakers available.
That's true.
We'll see what the TCC is thinking.
So Leo Chenal is sitting right here available, right there at that spot. Brian Asamoah. You have Troy Anderson as well. You have Jalen Tolbert, Trey McBride, Nick Cross, safety out of Maryland, Chad Muma. But let's take a look at, I guess we can start with wide receivers. And Christian Watson sitting here, John Mechie sitting here, Tolbert, Kyle Phillips, Calvin Austin as well. Let's go to, I just saw someone say safety. We'll pull up the safety options. You have Cross, you have Brian Cook out of Cincinnati, Kirby Joseph, Dane Belton, Tyson Anderson. Those are the top.
You have 3 pretty good safeties there with Cross, Cook, and Joseph. The question is, do you feel like you could get one of them for a small trade up from 93? Do you have to get it right now here at 49?
I don't know if you have to, right? Someone said cornerback. They want to look there. You have Roger McCreary out of Auburn. You have Cam Taylor-Britt. You have Marcus Jones, Tariq Woolen, and Jalen Armour-Davis, as well as Damari Mathis. Those are all top 100 prospects. I just see Paul Sanders saying, I see him saying slot corner. I'm seeing interior O lineman, so people want to look at that.
And update for Juanito, he said center. In the first round, because of the trades that happened, Tyler Linderbaum is now a San Francisco 49er. So center does not need to be addressed. There's an argument that maybe interior offensive line doesn't need to be addressed at this point.
There is an argument. Here's your interior offensive line names. But yes, the TCC had traded up and got themselves Tyler Linderbaum. So Tyler Linderbaum is a San Francisco 49er. So there is really, at this point, not a need to go another safety. Marcus Jones is already on our team, right? Said Shay Ellie. Someone just said tackle from Shatji. So this will be the last position we look at. This is what you got here. Abraham Lucas out of Washington State. You have Gadecki. You have Zach Tom, Jamari Saylor, and Kellen Diesch. Those are your top 5 names right there.
I think you could get a tackle later. So I wouldn't go offensive tackle, but I understand if somebody is wanting to push it. But I think if we were going offensive tackle, there was pending in some of those guys in the first round that would have been an option. So the next pick after this, Megan, is pick 93, which is the 49ers' normal 3rd-round pick.
Correct.
So that would be the next pick that the Niners would be able to hit. But we do have 101. We do have 105 as picks that we can use to maneuver. So if you wanted to move up from 93, as Jag said, get 4 or 5 very quality players. We already have 3 quality players so far out of this trade. However, do we feel like we've replaced Deebo Samuel with Treylon Burks? Is that enough? Do we need to make another move along the way? All the while, like they said, getting a nickel corner could be very important.
Here are your running back options, and it does look like you could get some running back options here a little bit later, unless you're absolutely in love with James Cook and want to pull the trigger right now. I wouldn't say Dameon Pierce is an option that the Niners would be looking at this spot. So this is not. I don't love this running back board here. We have seen Christian Watson. Ant being talked about by the TCC.
I think Christian Watson should be in the vote. Whether he's selected or not, is up to the TCC, but I think he should be in the vote because I see a lot of wide receiver.
Agreed. Do we want to put a safety? We did see them mention safety. TCC, start putting some names in the safety, for the safety position.
Which safety would you like? Because I think we should put a safety in there. Which one you value the most? Some people Nick Cross, some people Cook, and some people Joseph. So I'm curious where they go with that.
At TCC, start putting any of those names in the chat right now. And the one that we see the most of here in the next 30 seconds or so is the name that is going to be put up on the board. So I got a timer going. Let's see. Yes, Watson is available. Renee, Nick Cross, Kirby Joseph. Come on, TCC names. Give us names. Give us safety. Cross. All right, so I'm seeing some Cross. Unless I see something different here. Oh, I'm seeing McCreary, Ant. Someone wants Roger McCreary.
That would be the nickel corner.
That would be the nickel corner.
We could definitely put a safety and a nickel corner in this. So Cross is going to be the safety. Then we got to decide which nickel corner they want to go with.
Very true. Very true. So Nick Cross is the safety option. And then at the cornerback slot, again, here is your options at the cornerback slot. You have McCreary, you have Cam Taylor-Britt, you have Marcus Jones, and you have Tariq Woolen. Those are your 4 big options there. So give me the name. Give me the name that you want. Or if we see 2 of one, I have one more spot after cornerback, and we'll go with 3 unless you want 2 names in here, TCC. So let's find out. Give me something. Give me something. You want McCreary, you want Cam Taylor-Britt, you want Marcus Jones, Tariq Woolen. You want one of those names. Put it in there right now. I'm seeing Jones. I see Roger. I see Jones.
I'm gonna throw out there. Yeah, Jones should be in this. The TCC needs to think as they're the GMs right now. Where do they have to come up to get the next guy right? So if you think you can get one of these impact players now you want to come up from 93 and get if you have 2 of these guys you want to walk away with, you're probably gonna have to come up from 93 to get one of them. So that's something to start thinking about as well.
And we're seeing a nice balance here, Ant, on the McCreary side and the Jones side. So I'm just going to put both guys in. It seems like these are the options. These are the 4 names that have been coming up a lot. Jones, McCreary, Christian Watson, obviously, and Nick Cross. So TCC, it's your turn. It's your time to actually vote. 2 minutes on the clock. It is rolling. It is going. Let us know who the pick is going to be. Who do you want to see in San Francisco at pick 49, TCC 49. So anyone who's coming in late, you're joining late, you're getting off work, you're stumbling into the fan-controlled mock draft. How are we at 49? What is going on? Look, the TCC decided to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for Brian Burns for pick 137 and for a 2023 second-round pick. And they then turn around and also dealt Deebo Samuel to the Jets for pick 10, for pick 38, and then for pick... I think it was a 2023 third or second or something like that. And then they turned around and traded pick 10 back to pick 15, got themselves, it was 10. It was, oh gosh, why am I blanking? It wasn't 10. It was 15. 15, 18, and 101.
Yeah.
And we gave up pick 61 at that time. And so now we
gave up 61 now. We didn't give up 61 before.
That's true. We didn't give up 61 before.
But the Paul Sanders is saying, love Christian Watson, but how many wide receivers are going to make this team? I think in this situation, replacing Deebo Samuel, you're going to need at least 2 wide receivers. So getting Treylon Burks and getting Christian Watson is kind of what you're going to have to do because you have to play it in a different way. Burks is a more physical receiver, hopefully replacing that part of Deebo's game. And then Christian Watson is the receiver that the 49ers need that can stretch the top off the defense. That's a big, tall guy, 6'4", but runs a 4.28. At 211 pounds, he's very athletic and has a lot of versatility to play in the backfield. A combination of both guys is not a bad option, and the TCC agrees. 62% of the vote right now for Christian Watson
with 15 seconds.
So if you're gonna trade Deebo Samuel, this is kind of what you have to do, right? You have to walk away with some impact players. They've decided Burks and Christian Watson. I love Christian Watson, not as high on Burks, but I understand what the TCC is doing here.
Very true, Ant. Very true. D. Will saying, sounds like a fire receiver room. Thank God these mocks are coming to an end. Content picks up after evaluating the players we draft or get undrafted, says Baymax. So he's ready for post-draft content. And I know I'm excited for post-draft content.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, but that's part of the fun. We're just having fun here. And, people are in charge. It doesn't always have to be all serious. You can have fun as well. And that's what we're getting right now.
Very true. And so Christian Watson is the selection. Roger McCreary goes off the board immediately after that from KC. They make that selection there. And now the question is does the TCC want to sit pat at 93?
I know I wouldn't sit pat at 93. I seen the people that the TCC was looking at the nickel corner spot at the safety position. And to be able to grab one of those guys, you're probably going to have to move up from 93. So potentially I'd be willing to move up from 93, depending on what nickel corner they wanted to get, and go get a nickel corner or a safety in that spot, because it's about getting, the value of picks right now. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Very, very true. And Austin Collier, welcome to the TCC. Thank you for the subscription, my guy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So what should the 49ers do next, TCC? Wait for pick 93, move up for a corner, move up for a safety.
Yeah. And to Baymac, we know it's nothing personal. We're just having some fun. But yeah, we do appreciate Baymac, one of the fun people that come around here on chat for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. And we do appreciate always being in chat. So thank you so much. And definitely never take anything personally. That would kind of be rough in this business to take things personally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard rumors, and that sometimes the YouTube comment section can be a little harsh. I've heard rumors. I don't know though.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? What Paul said Megan. I think if I missed it.
Interesting. So right now the vote started and it's got off to it's going. Right now no one wants to wait for 93, by the way, and I mean no one.
Literally 0%.
Move up for corner and move up for safety are what's going on. 64% move up for corner. 36% for safety. So if you have voted already or haven't voted already, get in there and let your voice be heard. So that way you can have, be a part of the decision making and decide if we're going to go get one of these safeties or get a corner.
Very true. And 69%, 19. By the way, TCC, ever since I put the timer up, and the votes fly onto the board now, because now they know there's a time limit. We're not just going to talk over for a while and they have some time to make a decision. No. The time is now to make a choice. It's saying move up for corner right now at this moment, and wait for pick 93 did sneak in a nice 5% of the vote. So there are some people who are willing to wait, but over 90% of the TCC wants to move up. The only debate now is corner or safety.
Yeah, and right now corner is still in the lead, and it's fluctuating back and forth as these votes come in. Definitely the 49ers, have potential holes at safety and nickel corner. I think nickel corner is the most pressing, with Fred Warner saying very reluctantly that he believes Darqueze Dennard is slotted in as a starting nickel corner.
Right reluctantly, you say?
Yeah, because then after they said, but what do I know? I don't know. I don't make those decisions. So very reluctant on that, yeah.
Very reluctant indeed. And TCC and 57% want a corner. So you want to know who's available for corner. Unfortunately, with PFF, it doesn't show you who's available.
We do know. It's all the same guys, right? McCreary.
McCreary just went. So McCreary went.
McCreary's gone. So it's still Marcus Jones. Damari Mathis.
Tariq Woolen.
I'm sure Jalen Armour-Davis.
And Cam Taylor-Britt.
There you go. So those guys are available.
It's true. So the question is where does the TCC want to come up to? Do you want to come up around the 50s? You want to come up around the 60s? Or 60s, early or late, and then I would imagine that's where you need to be, right? Probably the 50s and the 60s.
I think if you wait past 60, actually, if wait past the 60s, you potentially are going to miss out on a corner that you want. And if you're wanting Marcus Jones, if that's the guy that TCC is targeting, he's seen in a lot of mock drafts to go late 60s, early 70s.
Very true. You may have to try and come up around 54. There's two teams that are coming up that need corners, and Pats and the Cardinals are the two that mostly need corners. So you could come in after those two go. So you come in around 57. 57, which is right before the next team, Atlanta, who needs a corner, could take someone. So you can come in around 57 TCC, or you could try and come in at that 54 mark. Just start letting us know. I'm seeing 60. I'm seeing 50s from Itchy. What else you got, TCC? Let us know right now.
Yeah, I'm also seeing just go get Jones. So there are people that are like, go get Jones right now.
Bomber T is saying 54. You don't even want to wait. So let's take a look at what 54 would look like. And I'd imagine you're going to need to give up pick 93. You're probably going to need to give up some more capital as well. It doesn't look like they really want to move off of this. In theory, you could add in a third-round pick. You could trade a third-round pick next year, Ant, and get this deal done for 93 and 101 or 93 and 105.
Yeah, I mean, could you give late-round picks instead? Give a third-round pick. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, could you give potentially 172, 187, just kind of wash our end of the draft? I guess not. Okay, so it is going to have to be one of those picks. So 101 or 105 will have to be a part of the trade.
Definitely will have to be a part of the trade. Now, the question is do we want to try and add something in on the back end from them to get back into the 150 range and then see if, that's a 59% chance there. You can get 54 and 127, giving up 93, 105, 172, and a third-round pick next season.
Yeah, so people are saying go up to fourth, and then they're asking, can you give up a fourth rounder instead of a third?
No.
Okay.
You can't do it. They won't take it. They won't even consider it.
Why did we add 172?
Well, that's because I added 127.
You added 127?
But we can just do this. And this right here works. If I take the third off and do the fourth, they still won't accept it.
I'm okay with adding the 127 and 172. To me, that makes sense because then you're going to get a pick back, and you're still in that top 150 picks.
Correct. So TCC, fourth rounder instead of a third. All these trades making it look like a Madden draft. KNDR. Traded third. Jones is flying up boards. Rennie saying that's good. 54 was the first option. That was there. And I don't think this is a bad look here for the TCC. We get some extra value here as well.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty consensus
of Marcus Jones.
So everyone's saying come up right now. So come up right now, and then we can put it to a vote of who the guy is. So everyone's saying, yeah, this is good. Go for it.
All right, let's take care of it. Let's get it done. It has been done. We will resume the draft here in a second. I want to clear the board off so the TCC can see the names that are actually available and going here at this spot. Drake Jackson goes, Desmond Ritter goes, and Leo Chenal goes. Cornerback was the option, and that's what they wanted. So let's put the names in. Let's let them vote on the corner. I have a feeling I know who it may end up being, but anyway, we will see. Who is the pick? Who is the selection, I guess is the better way to put this. Who is the selection at 54 TCC? Is it going to be cornerback Cam Taylor Britt? Is it going to be cornerback, because it has to be a cornerback based on how you voted, TCC, cornerback Marcus Jones? Or is it going to be cornerback Tariq Woolen? Is what we'll do right now. Do we want to add in Jalen Armour-Davis, Ant?
Sure.
All right. Cornerback, Jalen Armour-Davis. Jalen.
I'm sure you put Marcus Jones in there, right?
Yes, Marcus Jones is on there. So everyone who's probably spamming it in the chat right now, no worries. Your options are there. They are available, and the poll is live, and I'm going to put up the available players so you can actually see the list. There is your first four guys. There is Damari Mathis. If you don't like any of those names and you like Damari Mathis more and would like that, don't vote. Instead, just spam his name in the chat. Woo! All right. TCC getting off to a fiery start today. And I like it. I like the energy. I like the intensity here from the TCC. 125 left on that ticker there for you, Cutback crew. Vote, 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 vote. And while you're voting, if you haven't already, make sure you like the video. If you haven't already, and make sure they subscribe, like Austin Collier did a little bit ago. That way you don't miss.
Marcus Jones has got 90% of the vote.
Oh my goodness!
It just switched now, but yeah.
He was already killing it.
Yeah.
Already killing it. And that's 21 votes in as well.
Me and Jay Ellie are the only two that said anything about Mathis, and I did say Damari Mathis. So there you go. There's the Mathis for me.
And gives us a Mathis. JL just wants everyone to know. I do like him. I do like that Mathis guy. But I don't think he's going to argue against it. It doesn't feel like anyone's arguing against it. Dewey Morgan coming through with the Jones as well. And he's coming through with the Jones. Everyone's coming through with the Jones.
83%. Now, 12% for Cam Taylor Britt. Hello, KNDR. Welcome to the chat.
Welcome.
And 4% for Tariq Woolen. So there we go.
A little bit Tariq Woolen.
Yeah, little UTSA love.
Just a little bit. a little bit. If we get Jones for real, the 49ers are going to rock on defense this year, is what he's saying.
Well, think about the defensive improvements with the Brian Burns in the trade. And then now with Marcus Jones, I mean, you've addressed that. You've addressed the receiver position. You've lost Deebo Samuel, according to this trade. But you picked up Treylon Burks and you picked up Christian Watson. And you got Tyler Linderbaum to take over for Alex Mack if he decides to retire. So far, the TCC looking to fill holes and looking to move players that they wanted to move.
Very true indeed, Ant. And with 80%, Marcus Jones is going to be the selection. So the Niners will get Marcus Jones. That is their man. The TCC has gotten their guy, Ant. And in a shocking development, the 49ers the cutback crew, Ant, has once again made sure that this man has landed in San Francisco. So Marcus Jones back in San Francisco in the fold with this team for another mock draft, Ant. Another mock draft. Shachi is saying another injured player. Woo.
Yeah, worried about Marcus Jones's shoulders. I mean, that's a legitimate concern. He continues to move up boards. I like Marcus Jones. I think he's a good player. So, I mean, you're in this spot, right? You're willing to take a risk on a player that could develop into a big-time nickel corner for you.
Very true. The Niners have made 4 selections right now, TCC. 4 in the top 50 and 4 in the top 50. Next pick's not till 101. We letting them trade up again?
I mean, they can do whatever they want. This is their mock draft.
They can. So, TCC, vote to you. What would you like to do? What's next for San Francisco? What's next for SFTCC?
Juanito saying sit.
Okay, staying at 101. Trading up.
David Campbell says move up. Bomber T says sit.
We'll say into the 90s, and we'll say into the 80s. Trading up into the 90s and trading up into the 80s, Ant?
Yeah, I mean, potentially you don't have enough draft capital to make a huge move, right?
Correct.
Without getting into future seasons, you don't really want to do. You did acquire some future picks from Deebo Samuel. You're going to get some in compensatory picks as well. But yeah.
Okay, so late 80s or 90s. So basically into the top, we'll just say up into the top 100. And so trading up into the top 100, staying at 101 TCC. It's time for you to vote. Let us know what you want to do. Let us know where you want to be. Let us know what's next. Minute 30 on the clock. The timer's been ticking, so back down to a minute 25.
From looking at chat, I'm pretty sure that they're going to sit, but oh wow! So trading up to the top 100 is taking the lead.
It swerved.
Yeah, 71% right now. So if you are a sit person and you've been spamming chat, you need to go ahead and vote. Because right now, trading up into the top 100 is winning.
That's correct. Juanito is saying sit. Itchy is saying stay. Renee is saying who's available. Shachi is saying cowards. Cowards. Who's available? I mean, you still got safety prospects. You still got you still got Cross. You still got Brian Cook that's going to be sitting there and available. You still got some guys that are on the board at the safety spot. That you can do a lot of things with, or maybe you want to go the Ant route. Maybe Tariq Woolen is the guy that you're looking at. He's a cornerback prospect, but he could play safety and could be there. Ray Wershing is so mad. Jeez.
But we can't tell because he's got his head down, focused on the kick. So
Jay Elliott is saying safety, tight end, man. I already know where he's going to go with this.
Tight end. I'm guessing he's thinking Kate Otten.
And this thing is close. 21 votes. 52% say trade up. 48% say stay put, and 10 seconds, TCC.
Oh, get in your votes. You can be the reason that there's another trade or not.
As the celebs say, vote or die, Ant.
Oh, and another vote comes in for trading up. Trading up wins.
It looks like it, but some votes could come through. It's still closing out right now. We'll see here in a second. So far in a second, 51% and 51% want to trade up into the top 100. It was stupidly close.
Yeah.
Well,
the good thing is I think we have like 101, so you only have to move up 2 spots realistically to move to the top 100.
That's true.
But we could let it run and then kind of like gauge. Like, let's run it into like 65 and let's gauge what everyone says.
It's true. Very true. So we'll resume this thing here. We'll let this thing roll into 65. We got some wonderful not showing what's going on there. You saw Trey McBride go there, TCC. And of course, Ant, it is in a wonderful spot where it's not going to show the guys that are available. So Logan Hall, John Mechie just went. Let's let this thing roll all the way to 65, and then we'll show the names that went off the board there. And boom. Okay, so pick 65 has been made. Is Abraham Lucas out of Washington State.
There goes Tariq Woolen.
Tariq Woolen at 64. Troy Anderson off the board. Greg Dulcich off the board. Chad Muma off the board. Nick Cross off the board. So starting to lose some safety prospects. Starting to lose some safety positions here, and getting into this. I would imagine, though, again, it's going to be really hard to trade up into this area, right? It's going to be pretty hard to trade.
Yeah, I think you're going to take most or all your draft capital and then have to use, a future draft picks. I think this is a little early for that. You've already addressed a lot of your major needs. So it's like JLE said, potentially looking at tight end, running back. I don't know if you're going to go into your offensive line or offensive tackle after you went Linderbaum in the first round.
I wouldn't be. Let's let this thing roll down to about 80. Yeah, Ant?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I haven't seen anything different.
Yeah, TCC, if at any point you want this thing stopped, if you want to see more names, and I'm going to actually try and get this thing to show the players that I wanted to show, Ant, because for whatever reason, it has decided. There we go. That's more what I was looking for. Okay, sweet. Okay, we'll let this thing roll through here. Jalen Tolbert, Christian Harris goes, Cam Taylor-Britt off the board, Darian Winfrey, Zach Tom, Luke Gadecki, Calvin Austin, Dylan Parham, Kingsley Anogbury, Cam Thomas, Kirby Joseph, and Sam Williams just went off the board there. So another edge rusher off the board. I'm seeing Jaley saying tackle late. Mid-80s, you get Cook, is what someone else is saying. That's what Itchy is mentioning.
Is James Cook?
I think he's thinking James Cook.
95 is
it's either James Cook or Brian Cook, I think, is what he's thinking.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked if it was James Cook. Because I seen also Paul saying we need another speed running back. Potentially, that is something that James Cook is a fast guy. Pierre Strong, who would potentially be a little bit later, is another speed guy.
And Chachi is saying James Cook, yes. P. Murr saying running back. Itchy is saying Brian. He wants safety. Brian Cook.
Okay.
So TCC, I guess the question is where? Do you want to make the trade into the mid-80s around pick 85, which is going to be... it'd be New England again, Ant. It would be New England again. Do you want to come in at 86? You want to come in a little bit before that, pick 84 with Pittsburgh? What do you think at TCC?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of hope for James Cook. Like, there's a lot of people saying James Cook. Ken Martin saying no, Pierre Strong or Ty Chandler.
Yeah.
So we've got a few different options there.
Chachi with the trade wars.
Yeah, Pierre Strong would definitely be available later, so would Ty Chandler. So
Accurate.
You could go a different position right now, or if you want James Cook, you do need to strike here in the next 5 to 10 picks.
Very true. And someone just said, yes, James Cook trade with Las Vegas. So he wants a Las Vegas trade, Ant. So let's get that on the board so everyone can see what it potentially could look like. So you're looking at, obviously, pick 86. Obviously, you're going to have to give up pick 101. You could give up pick 127, Ant, and get yourself pretty close. It's 57% value there. I'm wondering if you add this stuff in, 220 and 221, it becomes almost guaranteed at that point. What are you thinking here? What do you think we should add in for the TCC to have them take a look at here?
I mean, I think first thing I would look at is, do you have to give up 127? Can you give up the rest of your draft potentially to move up? And you can't. So you have to give up 127 to move up this spot. So is there enough value there? I mean,
we could offer up the trade, see what happens, and then add some value in the back end.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, right? You would want to keep 101. It might have been more value to keep 101 and 127 than to actually trade up to 86. So
that's also possible. That's also there's also very possible.
They did decide to trade up in the top 100 though. So
true.
If they're wanting James Cook, they're that's what they're gonna have to do.
Right there, you are correct there. And this is not a team that's going to take a fourth round compensatory pick, Ant. So you might be able to give up a third rounder next year. You did get an additional one from Carolina. You most likely got compensatory picks coming back your way. So you could trade future capital. But again, you want to try and get rid of some of the trades you have now to move back up as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Las Vegas needs the picks is what he's saying. Debo traded for picks and Jimmy was traded for Burns and picks.
So, I mean, here's the question. Is it too early to trade up?
It might be.
Is it too early? Do we have to give up too much draft capital? Paul Sanders is saying do it. So, I mean, Frank is saying we need the picks. But right now, out of this draft, let's just do a quick recap. we've got Brian Burns, we've got Tyler Linderbaum, Treylon Burks, Christian Watson, and Marcus Jones. That's 5 guys that could potentially start for your football team. How many more players do you want to get out of this? That's pretty good haul already. So, I mean, I think I would love to have 101 and 127. I think those would be really nice selections for the Niners. But if we're trading up, you're trading up to 85, you're giving those away. If you're waiting into the 90s, you're not going to have to give up as much draft capital to move up.
Correct.
So that's something the TCC needs to decide.
Correct. You have to give up 101 and 127. So here's a perfect example. The Titans here at 90, Ant. You can trade for pick 90 and only give up 101 and then the rest of your picks behind 127. So you still hold on to 127. You still hold on to pick 127. You give up everything else, and you're most likely going to be able to get that done at 65% chance. You can also try coming in. I think I like what JL is saying. Let's come up with 3 players. Let's have the TCC put 3 players in chat that they're targeting. Okay. Go vote by vote and just see how far we can get. We know we have to vote or trade into the 90s, but potentially how far can we get with one of those guys still being on the board? Look, P. Murr saying revote. He's saying, hey, let's revote and not go with the trade because now pick 101 and 127 look pretty enticing. They do look pretty enticing. We could also so do we want to revote TCC? I'm seeing revote. Do we want to just let it roll player by player?
Yeah, I mean, potentially we could let it roll player by player. We know that they're targeting James Cook and Brian Cook. Correct. That's 2 players. We can watch, and if one of those go off the board, we can decide to go ahead and jump up if the value's there. Very true. But if they're not willing to miss, if they don't want to miss on James Cook, like if he has that much role, if they want him that much, then potentially.
So Max Mitchell off the board,
and JLE's saying Kate Otton's the 3rd player. That's who he's saying.
So Darian Mathis. Ryan Asamoah, Nicholas Petit-Frere, Alec Pierce off the board, Martin Emerson off the board, so it's a good thing they didn't trade up there, Ant. Donovan West off the board, Alex Wright off the board, Damian Pierce next out of Florida, Wandale Robinson out of Kentucky, Brian Cook.
There goes Brian Cook.
There goes Brian Cook.
They can decide now. Do they want to come up and get James Cook, or they want to give this thing, do they want to push it and see what happens? I think let us know in chat right now. Do you guys want to keep letting this thing roll and just see what happens as we get closer to 101?
Very true. And just so the TCC is aware, you could deal 101, 187, and 221 for pick 92.
So now it's a little bit more affordable to come up. That's what we're saying. The closer you get to your 101 pick, the more value 101 carries.
Correct. Very, very true. Megan's saying roll the dice. I think she's saying let it roll the dice and let it roll. Taps vein more trades. Shadji. Yes, got James Cook. Says Paul Sanders. Itchy is saying let it roll. If I see one more, let it roll, and I'm letting it roll. If I see one more, let it roll. I'm letting it roll. You got 10 seconds, TCC.
We're waiting. We're anticipating.
What's the next comment going to be? What's it going to be? Trade or let it roll?
Let it roll from Bomber T.
There it is.
Oh, we got two.
2 rolls. Yeah. 2 rolls. Okay. Resuming the draft, letting it roll, and Sean Rion goes. Oh, boy. Cam, the suspense is killing me right now.
Cole Strange.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Jelani Woods.
There's a tight end off the board.
Khalil Shakir.
Solid wide receiver.
Rasheed Walker.
Oh, my gosh. The anticipation.
There.
Oh, it burns. It burns the skin.
So, TCC, do you just want to let it roll to 101?
I mean, at this point, I'm just going to say yes, right? The guys you wanted. Kate Otten will definitely be here at 101. Yeah. And let's let it roll to the spot. Here. Let's see what happens. Myjai Sanders goes off the board, and then D'Angelo Malone. So running back options is what the TCC wanted to look at. Paul Sanders is saying, who cares now?
Paul Sanders wanted James Cook.
It's true.
That was the thing. It was like really wanted James Cook, and I really like James Cook. That's a very good prospect. But let's see which running backs are available right now.
Zamir White, Rashad White, Pierre Strong, Tyler Algier, and Kyron Williams, and Brian Robinson also sneaking in at this spot as well.
Potentially, you could go running back at 127, since they still have 127.
Agreed. Tight end options. You have James Mitchell out of Virginia Tech, and solid tight end prospect there. Jeremy Ruckert, Cade Otton, Daniel Bellinger as well. Those are your tight end options. I know safety was a thing that we had been talking about, so here are your safety options.
Yeah.
You have Dane Belton, Tyson Anderson, JT Woods, and Verone McKinley. Those are your top safety options. That's what you got.
Bomber T saying Pierre Strong.
Yeah, we can definitely put Pierre Strong in the vote. The thing is, though, I think you could wait till 127 to get him. I don't think you need to get him now. You could wait and get him now.
Ken Martin is saying if you want James Cook, Kyron Williams fits.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but you don't have to get Kyron Williams right now. I'm seeing Otton. So look, here's what we know. We have seen some names. So we have seen Pierre Strong. So let's put that on there now. What did I miss?
Frank said you deserve to be punished. Arielza for you, just for Jason Aponte.
Who is the pick? Who is the pick at 101 TCC? So we have seen running back Pierre Strong here at this spot from the TCC in chat. We have also seen tight end Cade Otton.
Yeah, and Itchy's asking about linemen.
Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Here are your tackle options. You have Kellen Dykes, Braxton Jones, Logan Bruss, Matt Walesko, and Spencer Burford. Those are your top 5 names right there. And interior O-line, we could do it, but again, don't keep in mind TCC. Keep in mind that you traded earlier. You traded Debo. You came up and got yourself Tyler Linderbaum, so you do have a center prospect ready. But you have Marquise Hayes. You have Luke Fortner. You have Joshua Ezeudu from the University of North Carolina, Ed Ingram, and Letitia Smith. Those are your top 5-6 guys right there on the board. Let's see if there's any other name. I'm still seeing a lot of the same names. I'm with Baymack, ugliest and gassiest defensive lineman available is what he is saying. Here are your.
Have we seen a Ty Chandler as well? Marcus says Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler is definitely an option for the Mariners at 4.3 speed.
Super early.
Yeah, this is a little early for that, but yeah, definitely a nice prospect.
This is your defensive interior line here. Seeing Logan Bruss, Logan Bruss, a tackle out of Wisconsin. So someone is saying tackle out of Wisconsin is where they would go here. That's what Big Bird 99 is saying. I wonder who that is. I wonder who Big Bird 99 is.
Yeah.
Kellen Diesch is good as well.
Yeah, Kellen Diesch is good as a pass blocker.
That is, not as a run blocker. We'll put Diesch on because he is one of the top names on the board here for best available players. And then the only other question is who's the other name? Marcus Railford just said JT Woods. So we have running back Pierre Strong. We have tight end Cade Otton. We have tackle Kellen Diesch. And do we want to put safety JT Woods?
This might be early for Woods, but
I agree with you that it's very early for Woods. Do we go instead with? Let me go back to. Actually, let me just scroll down here. I mean, you still got your boy Damari Mathis, still got Danny Gray. A lot of options. James Mitchell.
yeah.
Who else, TCC? Who's the other name that you want? You get one more. You get one more name. Logan Bruss right now is the leader unless we get something else. So Marcus Railford just said tackle. So let's put tackle Logan Bruss on here as well. And let's see what the TCC decides to do.
Yeah, I don't know, JLE, how Mathis is still around. Mathis would have already been drafted by me for sure.
Accurate, Anthony. That is very, very accurate. TCC, the vote is up. It's time to make your selections. The timer is going as well. So get your votes in. You got a minute 30 left to make your selections. Do it.
Yeah, early votes. I mean, these are just the first 5 votes in, but Pierre Strong is the leader in the clubhouse, followed by Cade Otton. Pierre Strong is 60% of the vote. Cade Otton and Logan Bruss were tied. Now Kellen Diesch joining the party, getting involved with 22% of the vote.
We saw a lot of tackles early, and now Kellen Diesch has stormed into a position here at 38%, pulling himself even with running back Pierre Strong. It looks like a 2-horse race at the moment. Very interesting tackle is something that the TCC wants to do. Getting the guy you got earlier in Tyler Linderbaum, you would think maybe the Niners wouldn't address O-line, but apparently the TCC, not as strong and confident in Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends if you're looking to replace Mike McGlinchey. You draft and develop. Having a guy ready to take over is the important thing. Now, you did take care of that with Jalen Moore, potentially somebody that could, replace Mike McGlinchey in the future. That would be 2 years of him getting ready and playing, in this system with Chris Forrester. So I think that maybe the 49ers have already addressed it, but I wonder about Kellen Diesch. He is definitely the inverse of Mike McGlinchey, as you've brought up a lot of times. Not great at run blocking, but a superior pass blocker. I wonder about his slight frame and if he could be able to get moved around a lot by some of these more dominant edge rushers and stronger edge rushers in the league. So that's a big possibility. But right now, Kellen Diesch is leading the pack with Pierre Strong second at 35%.
True.
K. Dotton kind of falling behind.
K. Dotton falling really behind, as is Logan Bruss, and the poll is officially closed. We'll see if any last-minute votes snuck through, Ant. And with 41%, Kellen Diesch will be the selection.
Wow.
For the San Francisco 49ers at pick 101.
I'll be honest, this one kind of surprises me. Not so much that they went offensive tackle, but that Kellen Diesch is the player. I think Kellen Diesch is a fine prospect. He does not fit what the 49ers do. I don't see Kellen Diesch being able to be the power run game guy that they need. I know we're in a zone scheme, but you still need to be able to move people off their spots. And I'm not sure he can do that, and I'm not sure he can anchor as well against some of these bigger edge rushers.
True. JL is saying Dwells needs to go. He needs to be gone. Well, luckily you got to pick at 127. Let's let it roll to 127 and see what happens. Because you still got picks at 187, 220, 221, and 252. So if the TCC wanted to come back up into the 150s, they could.
Yeah, and they probably should. I wouldn't be picking at 220, 221, and 262 with the amount of draft picks they've already made.
Very true. Very true indeed, Ant. So pick 103 off the board is Jalen Armour Davis. Ed Ingram then after that. And rounding it out in the fifth round there was Channing Tindall.
Yeah, solid pick by New England using the pick we traded earlier to pick up Channing Tindall, the linebacker. So very nice.
Very true. And then James Mitchell off the board there at 110. Danny Gray as well. Luke Fortner. Daniel Falele to Washington, the football team. Isaiah Spiller, running back. A solid choice there. Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State.
I love him.
Damari Mathis finally off the board.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Damari Mathis is still there in day 3. I think he's a day 2 pick, and if somebody does draft him in day 3, I hope it's the 49ers because he's sure as heck going to show up in a big way.
Very true. Justin Ross off the board there. Braxton Jones off the board there. Dane Belton off the board. Rashad White as well, Ant. And then, at 126, right before you're supposed to pick it. Oh, JL, your tight end is gone. Oh, my Lord Almighty. Oh, my Lord Almighty. Well, you guys had mentioned tight end. There are some tight end options. I just don't know if you're going to like them as much, TCC. Daniel Bellinger, Chigozie Okonkwo, Charlie Kohler, Grant Calcaterra, and Jake Ferguson here at this point. And that's what you're looking at.
I mean, if I'm arguing tight end, I'm going with Okonkwo. Okonkwo is somebody that has a lot more flexibility as a tight end, has met with the 49ers, but has that athletic ability. I actually fell asleep watching Okonkwo film last night, so there you go.
There you go.
Okonkwo is a solid player. Like JLE said, Pierre Strong at this point would be a nice choice as well with the 4.3 speed. And then we did have the conversation from Ken Martin about the stats between Kyren Williams, and James Cook. The thing about James Cook is he played in a 2-back system, so he wasn't going to get the amount of stats that Kyren Williams was going to get in New Orleans. The problems with Kyren Williams, for me, is not so much the speed, which would end up being a 4.7, which is not very good, but the fact that if you watch film, he often went away from open holes to bounce outside and try to outrun linebackers. He was able to do that in college. I don't know if you're able to do that against the top 1% that are playing in the NFL. So if his vision was able to improve, he's a very solid running back. If it doesn't, though, you wonder if he would be able to make it the next level. So his vision is going to have to be cleaned up because there are open holes he misses at times.
Very true. Does Kyren Williams have one-cut ability? There is some ability to get upfield, but the problem is that vision sometimes lacks, and sometimes he wants to bounce outside. He wants to get outside. He doesn't have the speed for that at the NFL level.
Yeah, I think he does have one cut and go ability. It's not the ability thing. It's can he get the vision down? If he gets the vision down, like if he's able to read holes, like some of the other guys that are on the 49ers already, he could be a big back. Because I'm not really worried about the 4.7 speed. Yeah, is he not going to break any big runs? No, he's probably not. I mean, this guy's going to be a 20 and in type running back.
True.
Because 4.7, you're getting ran down by every single corner and linebacker that's in the league.
Ken Martin doesn't think Cooks has one-cut ability yet.
Oh, he has one cut ability, but what I've often said about Cooks is that he's a third down back.
With 3 down back potential.
Well, that has 3 down back potential. He's going to have to develop into that. But bringing him in right away, he could replace JaMychal Hasty as your third down back. He's smooth in the passing game. That's where you're going to get your value. But if you're telling me, if you're saying, Ken, that he's not going to come in and play right away at 3 downs, no, he's not. He's going to have to develop. So I would agree with Ken in that nature.
There you go. Shatchi, if we're going power, I want Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama. So we have seen running back Pierre Strong, and we've seen running back Brian Robinson here as well.
Yeah.
I know safety JT Woods was brought up earlier. I can throw him in the poll TCC. Is there another name that you're looking at that you're wanting? Is it a tight end? Is it Chigozium Okonkwo? Is it a different name that's on the board here that as I kind of scroll through and let you take a look at the options? It could be linebacker Micah McFadden. Maybe linebacker is a position they want to add.
I don't know if they're ready to go linebacker right now. You know what I mean? I honestly don't know what the TCC is thinking right now. I see some running back options. I've seen Brian Cook. Jay Ellie saying best available. Best available Dominique Robinson. You don't need an edge rusher potentially. You've drafted 2 wide receivers. Do you need a wide receiver? You went interior offensive line. You're not going to draft a quarterback. You just went tackle. That's what I'm saying. As we're going through this draft, we've used a lot of draft capital to get some very good football players. So you wonder, what you guys are going to do with these later draft picks.
True. Frank is saying Tyson Chandler. I mean, he is on the board here. He's a name that you could go this route with a TCC. It seems like running back is the option, and it seems like running back is what they want to target here. So I've seen Pierre Strong. I've seen Brian Robinson. Is there one more running back name you guys want to add to this mix? Is it Kyron Williams? Is it Zonovan Knight? Is it Zaquandre Wright? Is it Ty Chandler? Is it Keontae Ingram? Or is it any of those names that you want to throw in here at the 120 spot, knowing that we could potentially trade up again at 187?
Yeah, definitely.
And Itchy is saying safety and running back is the only thing that is left. So again, safety option wise, Tyson Anderson would be the other name. So, I mean, we could go that route. I could throw Tyson Anderson out of Toledo if the TCC wanted that. They want to just roll with JT Woods. Jelly saying Kyle Phillips can return kicks with the best of them and slot wide receiver. So he's making the case. I keep seeing Pierre Strong. Why don't we just go best available, Ant? Which of these guys do you think the TCC would like more of this top one right here?
For which part? Because I thought you said we were going running back.
We are. So it would be my bad. I had there we go. Would it be Tyler Algier, Kyron Williams, Zonovan Knight?
I don't think it's Algier. So I think the names that I've seen consistently are Brian Robinson, of course, Pierre Strong, Ty Chandler. Those are guys that I've seen consistently in chat. So we know Kyron Williams has also been being argued by Ken Martin as well. So he could be somebody. But I know Ken Martin's also said Brian Robinson. So if we're talking running backs, those are the 4 I've seen brought up the most in chat.
There we go. So those are your options. We have 4 names there. Included safety JT Woods because someone said safety, and JT Woods was the name at the top that we've seen chat go with. So JT Woods is on the poll for you there, TCC, as well as 3 running back options at this spot. 1:30 on the clock. Make your selection, get your votes in, and Pierre Strong out to a strong start. And as is safety JT Woods. And a surprising turn of events. 50-50 there.
Yeah, 2 votes. Brian Robinson just jumped in now with a huge number at 44%. So Brian Robinson jumping into the argument in the fray. And Brian Robinson, in fact, taking a lead now.
Brian Robinson is, but Marcus Relaford is making the case. We could get Ty Chandler with the next pick, TCC. Just take safety JT Woods. Go safety now. You get a running back later. Don't do it now. He's trying to make the case. Why are all these running backs called HBs, halfbacks?
Yeah. I mean, this is always one of those things, right, where we talk about the running back room, and people put Kyle Juszczyk in there, and I still call him a fullback. He's not in that running back room. I have like the one classification. To me, it's an interesting thing. It's a quandary, as it would be.
A quandary?
Yeah.
Is a quandary like is a quandary right or just a quandary?
Well, we know I like Zaquandre White.
Sure, you do.
Yeah.
Solid player. Right?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
It's not bad there. Not bad. TCC, 20 seconds left. Brian Robinson has taken the lead with 40% of the vote. And TCC kept saying speed, but now it's not speed. Now it's power.
Yeah, Brian Robinson definitely doesn't have the speed. He's not going to one of those guys is going to burn you on the outside. He's a 4-5 guy. Pierre Strong, a 4-3 guy. Ty Chandler, a 4-3 guy.
True.
Those are the guys with speed. Pierre Strong going close to 220 pounds. Ty Chandler, not so big, so he's more of a scat back. So those are the guys you're talking about. So durability with Brian Robinson is there. He has a lot of tread on the tires, but we'll see what the TCC decides.
Very true. Do we have a ticker of the chosen picks? No, it's too much because of all of the potential
trades, yeah.
possibilities. Android user, it's too hard to keep
Sorry,
track.
It went crazy.
It did. So the pick at 35% is going to be running back Brian Robinson. So Brian Robinson will be the TCC selection at the running back position. That is who they are going with. That'll be the option. And now the next question is, are the TCC sitting pat, Ant, or are they going to try and move up and make another pick? Let's just say we'll just make the pick. We'll have them, if they're going to trade up, it's going to be what? Pick one. It'll have to be either pick 148 or 145, most likely, are your two best options. So let's just say it's 148 with the Chicago Bears trading up into the top 150 of players there. So let's get a poll going. What do you want to do next, TCC? What is next for SF? Are we staying at 187? Woo! Staying at 187 or trading up to 148, TCC? Those are your options. Let us know right now. Trading up into the top 150, or are we staying pat at 187? Again, with the amount of players you've already selected, none of these options anymore seem as enticing because you've addressed a lot of things with the San Francisco 49ers roster. You have already made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 selections. You're not going to be able to keep all of these guys. We can't afford to make all of these selections, and some of these guys are going to go by the wayside. So you got to get up right now.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, right now we're getting to the point where the 49ers, according to what the TCC has done, selected some big-time players, got Brian Burns in the trade with Jimmy Garoppolo, tried to replace Deebo Samuel, Treylon, Burks, and Christian Watson, but also grabbed the center Tyler Linderbaum as well to come in case Alex Mack does decide to retire. Decided to go edge rusher tackle with Kellen Diesch for a backup, eventual replacement for Mike McGlinchey, but did also address the nickel corner spot with Marcus Jones.
True.
So they've moved all over the place and acquired the players they want to get, and recently just grabbed Brian Robinson, the running back out of Alabama.
Very true. JL is saying, finish off this draft, guys. Make trades. Trade. 57% right now and want to trade up, and there's 30 seconds left. So let's see.
It doesn't surprise me that the TCC is thinking about trading up. They've been very aggressive throughout the entire draft.
Extremely.
Moving around and making selections. This is completely different from the first fan-controlled mock draft. There was a little surprising start. The trade of Jimmy Garoppolo, not surprising. The trade of Deebo Samuel was surprising.
Very surprising.
But they moved and they've made their adjustments, and we've just been here to facilitate it and give commentary. So it's been fun so far.
Very true, Ant. And with 10 seconds left, 56% saying trade up to 48. So unless any last-minute votes come through as this ticker ticks down, we will see what the TCC wants to do. 58% want to trade up to 148, so that is looking like it is going to be the option for the TCC. They want to trade up. They want pick 148, and you got a 67% chance of doing so if you include every pick that's left.
Do it.
Done. It is. This will be the last pick, TCC. So let's see who the Niners pick to end this thing off. Who is the Cutback crew going to be deciding? I saw a couple people already saying they wanted to only focus on 3 guys. They want 3 guys in this last vote. They don't want a lot of options. They want a plethora of choices. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. 138 there. Michael Clemens going. Burford going off the board there as well. There goes Kalen Bard, Zach Thomas, Mario Bona. There's just so many names so fast. And there goes Chigozium Okonkwo. So just a quick recap of some other names. Tyreek Smith went as well. Justin Schaefer goes as well. Kalen Barnes goes as well. Spencer Buford there as well. Kobe Bryant, Kyle Phillips. So lots of options there. 148, Ant. 148. Let's show you the best available players first and foremost.
Frank's making me laugh with Arias.
I'm hearing the Arias. I see it, Ant. I can see it in the chat right now. So this is what you got right now, TCC. These are your options. This is your best available players at the moment. You still got running back Pierre Strong on the board, sitting here, and you still got JT Woods that's on the board. A lot of names that we've seen from these guys. Analytics say that Weidermeyer is the best tight end, so Ken Martin is making the Jalen Weidermeyer pitch at this point. But if that was the case, I don't know why you would trade up at this point to get Jalen Weidermeyer, seeing as he's going to be available later. Lots of options, lots of possibility. I'm seeing JT. I'm seeing Strong from P. Murr. So P. Murr is still thinking Pierre Strong needs to be the option. And so we got Pierre Strong that I've seen. I'm hearing
Is Pierre Strong still available?
Yes, he is. Pierre Strong is still available. So who will be the pick at, what is this? Is this 147 or 148? I can't remember.
148.
148. I'm seeing running back Pierre Strong against. They want to go running. They want to double dip at running back, Ant. Running back Pierre Strong. I've seen safety JT Woods as well. I'll pull up the other safety options in case the TCC wants to take a look before they finalize that. So you still have Ron McKinley, Joseph Corker, Percy Butler, Leon O'Neal, Sterling Weatherford. Those are your options there at the safety room. JLE saying San Diego State tight end Dan Bellinger. Let's see if there's any other tight end prospects that anyone is interested in. This is what you got here. So Daniel Bellinger there. The punt god, Ariaza. Do we put Ariaza in just for
I think we should. I think Ariaza should go in there. There you go.
All right. That's what it's going to be. We need an ace kicker from Frank. So there you go. Punter, Matt Ariaza will be the meme selection.
JLE's already pitching to get Marquise Bell's an undrafted free agent.
Well, that's if he's there. As if he's there, JLE. TCC, you got 3 choices. You got 3. I double dip with wide receiver, power and speed, says Ken Martin. Dang it, Baltimore got my boy. Look, you got running back choices here on the board. You got running back Pierre Strong. You got safety JT Woods. You got punter Matt Ariaza and Ant. As soon as the vote goes up, 57% want a meme. 57%.
Matt Ariaza.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've done this, Cutback crew. I can't believe you've done this. You guys know you don't get no do-overs, right? There's no reset button on this. Punters are hot, says Shad G.
If you guys want Pierre Strong, you better vote, because Matt Ariaza is off to a
20 votes in, and 55%.
Wow. Matt Ariaza to top this thing off.
TCC, you've actually pissed away this. You potentially pissed away this pick. We traded up to get a punter, right? We traded up in the top.
I mean, how much value? Draft and develop your potential replacement for Mitch Wisnowski and Robbie Gould.
True. I'm seeing. Listen. I hear you. I hear you saying Pierre Strong. I feel you, but I'm not seeing it in votes. It's got to go. It's got to go in votes. With the sales ability, I should go into the government, says Frank.
Yeah, and San Francisco is saying, asking me if I saw that Barno got picked up by Baltimore. Yeah, that one's tough because Barno's one of those guys at 6'4", but with that 4.3 speed, he can really move. Has positional, flexibility. He could play linebacker. He could play edge rusher. I like Barno a lot. I would love to see the 49ers be able to grab a guy that could potentially be a situational pass rusher or develop into playing a 4-3 outside linebacker because we know D'Amico Ryans and San Francisco 49ers can develop talent. And what's better than having a guy that can move like that playing outside linebacker? I mean, it's really hard to have anything else. If we get that Nick Cross guy, this is going to be a heck of a player, says Vivian. So she's feeling very good about Nick Cross and his abilities. But I'm interested to see what is going to happen here with this selection because there's a lot of options, a lot of choices. This thing has actually gotten really stupidly close. JT Woods actually is getting some love now in the vote category as well. So let's see here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the pick is going to be. Let's see what the TCC decides to do. Hold on a second. What in the heck just happened here on my end? My goodness gracious almighty. All right. Votes are in. Selections have been made. Ooh, good question. Will Arias wear 14? I got it. At this point, if we're trading up from where we just traded up to get a punter, and he better be wearing 14. So, yeah, maybe I'm going to have a new Matt Ariaza jersey. Possibly. So there we go. Yes, that was dumb. I draft Matt and Mr. Irrelevant all the time. He always falls to Mr. Irrelevant. I don't think it's going to happen in the actual draft, though, Ken. No, I think he will go earlier than the 7th round, but 6th round, maybe?
Maybe 6th round.
Yeah.
Maybe 6th round. And good chance he's not going in the 5th at pick 148. But the TCC has spoken. They've absolutely lost their minds. And at pick 148 for the San Francisco 49ers and the Cutback crew, Matt Ariaza, for some reason, is the selection. And there it is. There is the fan-controlled mock draft, Ant. It has happened. It has come. It is gone. And in a surprising turn of events, Ant, the Niners have done some interesting stuff here.
Did it just freeze? Oh,
it did for a second.
I was like, wow.
It froze there.
I thought this was what happened to me that one time when I was doing the killer mock draft and it froze.
I would have cried if it done that.
Yeah.
I would have actually cried. It did that. Oh, well, we're running through the rest of this thing, letting this thing run out. I've seen a couple people talking about how they want this thing to they want to embrace the chaos, says Femur. We're trying. I'm trying, Femur. I'm trying to embrace chaos. It's flying through picks now, Ant.
Yeah.
It's flying through picks. Let's see our draft. Well, let's see
draft grade.
I don't know if we'll see our draft grade because we did. They won't grade some of the trades. I know that. I know they won't grade some of the trades just because we had to do things to make it work better for the TCC there. Let's get this shrunken in here. Let's get this over here. Oh yeah. All right, TCC. All right, TCC. Let's see here. Let's see your guys' choices, your selections, and what that means. We can still get the good news is, and they may not grade the overall draft, but they do show the grades for the picks, not for necessarily the trades, especially the ones that were forced. So first and foremost, the Treylon Linderbaum selection was an A- for the TCC. It was an A- for the TCC. So TCC, absolutely great there. However, and at pick 18, PFF gave us a big fat D. A big fat D for said selection. Then there was obviously the trade up there, the more trading situation there. You picked up Christian Watson there at pick 49. Then you were also to trade with the Pats here and get yourself Marcus Jones. You grabbed Kellen Diesch here. You got Brian Robinson at 127. You also got Matt Ariaza, a big fat F, and a nice D+ from PFF. I'll give PFF the D. How dare they?
And Vivian, yes, we are having a draft party. It's in Galt, California, Northern California in Galt. And we're going to be at Back Alley Brew House.
Accurate.
It's going to be a really, really fun time. We're starting at 4 o'clock. It's going from 4 to 8. So that's going to be a fun time. So if you're in the area, come by and check it out and say hi. It's going to be 49er fans there. It's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. TCC, you got what you asked for. I'm not gonna lie. Would have got A+. I told you guys. Freaking Jordan Davis, darn it, said Palmer T. But no, Vivian, you're not wrong. This Friday, that's gonna be a lot of fun. John is saying solid B, maybe. PFF disagrees. He gave us a big fat D+.
The one thing is, we saw the way that this draft went, and tomorrow on War Room, Alex, we're gonna be the GMs, and we've already decided we're gonna work together the best way possible. So once the TCC decides who's picking at 61. We're just going to move together and work in unison to be able to, move up and down this draft board to get the players that we feel the 49ers are going to target. But we're the GMs and we're going to make the decisions tomorrow. Today, the TCC went off the rails, traded Jimmy Garoppolo, which isn't too crazy, but then traded Deebo Samuel as well. So it was a very interesting mock draft. I think you'll see a little more calmness tomorrow as far as the chaos goes, but I do expect some movement from us as well.
There's going to be some movement, and it's just not going to be this much movement. I don't know if we're going to trade every single round, but I do expect us both to want to be aggressive, both to want to come up and get certain guys and specific things. JLE saying all of the trades. Frank saying fart is more like it. PFF, fart is more like it. Look, at the end of the day, tomorrow's War Room is going to be a blast. It's been building to this all season long, and now you and I will be the GMs. You and I will be making the selections.
That's right.
And the TCC will be able to give commentary as we do so, and who knows, and maybe make us laugh. Or maybe convince us one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys are free tomorrow at noon, come and check out Cutback Colony. I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow at noon. You can come through. We're going to talk about what could happen and what happens in the draft determines how the 49ers move forward. How if they select a center like they did in your guys' mock draft, will that mean Alex Mack is gone? What will they do with Deebo Samuel? And with Jimmy Garoppolo. We're going to have a fun conversation. It's going to be a good time. So hop over and check that out tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific time for Cutback Colony.
Specifically at 12 for Cutback Colony. Make sure you're here for that. The commercial will play at the end as well, so you can get a little piece of that. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss War Room tomorrow night. You don't want to miss Aftermath, where we have a call-in show where UTCC can call in and tell us what you thought about our War Room. You can say it right to our faces, live for Patreon and live for channel members. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to become a channel member. Hit the join button below, or hop over and support us on Patreon. Yeah,
and Paul Sanders, it will be on YouTube. It's just going to be a show on YouTube, not just for members or patrons or anything. You can just check it out at noon. It's just going to be, a weekly show that we're going to add to the lineup.
Absolutely. You don't want to miss Cutback Colony. You don't want to miss War Room. You don't want to miss any of the content. Make sure you're here for all of it. And it's about that time, though.
Yeah, and Frank pushed for Ariaza all the way at the beginning and says, wait, we took a kicker?
You did.
I love that, Frank.
Jason Aponte would be so ashamed of you.
And
Frank.
he did it just for that reason, and I'm here for it. Well done, Frank.
Go ahead and clip that, Frank, and then send it to Aponte on Twitter.
Well done.
Clip it down there.
Well done, Frank.
Look, TCC, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll catch you on the next one, though, and until then, stay safe.
Remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.